Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Hustle Vidcast, and today we are going to be talking about Bryce Harper and reviewing his 2019 campaign. As his first year in Philadelphia, obviously signed that massive $330 million, 13-year, $330 million contract with the Philadelphia Phillies. On February 28th, obviously, it was made official March 2nd, I believe. So that was when that huge press conference happened. Obviously, had a lot of hype going into this year, leaving the division rival Washington Nationals and coming over to the Philadelphia Phillies. That was a big deal. Everyone made a big deal about it. So we're going to be sitting here talking about it. So before we get into this video, happy birthday to Bryce Harper's wife, Kayla. We wish her a happy birthday, and obviously I made a post about it, and she actually liked my post. So thank you so much for liking that, Kayla. I really appreciate that. That's really, really cool. So thank you. Yeah, it was on the Harper Fanatics page. Go check that out. Link in the description below. Please go give it a follow. I'd appreciate it. So anyway, let's just talk about the 2019 season. I mean, obviously, he had a lot of expectations going into this year. He came off of a year he hit 249 with 34 home runs, 100 RBIs. I mean, he had a solid year in 2018, not great. His batting average is really, really low. His worst season was in 2016. I made a video back on July 4th, months and months and months ago, talking about this. Yeah, so that was 4 months ago today, actually. That was July 4th, 4 months ago today. So 4 months later, here I am again talking about Bryce Harper. So this time we're going to be talking about, that was his mid-season review. Now we're going to be talking about his season review. And I think this is a very important video because, I think some of his 2019 season is overlooked. So I think the expectations going into this year, obviously a man getting paid $25 million a year for the next 13 years, a man who was guaranteed $330 million over 13 years. At the time he signed the contract, it was the richest contract in sports history. Obviously, he had a lot of expectations. He's had a lot of expectations pretty much his entire life. I mean, there's a time in his career where he was compared to Mike Trout. He's had a lot of pressure on him his whole entire life. Grew up in Las Vegas, so he's used to pressure. So he had the pressure going into him this year. I mean, he was a free agent. That's all you heard was, Harper. Where's Harper going? Is he going to L.A.? Is he going to the Yankees? Is he going to the Giants? He's going to go over to the West Coast. He's going to go to Angels or the Dodgers. He's going to go somewhere on the West Coast to be home. But in the end, he went where the money was. And obviously the Giants offered him that I think it was like $315 or $320, like 12 years. And it was all deferred until he was like 60, and the California taxes are high as anything. And obviously Washington offered him that 10-year, $300 million deal. That would extend until he was in his 60s. So by the time he was in his 60s, he was a grandfather. He'd be that's when he'd finally get all his money, which didn't make any sense to me at all. I don't understand why he didn't. I don't understand why people make that argument. Oh, he could stay in D.C. for $30 million. Well, he wouldn't have gotten all his money until he was like 60 years old. So it does not make any sense to me. It was, at least 60 years old. I think it was extended until he was like 64. Something crazy like that. I don't know if that was the exact number, but it was close to it. So that was not a good contract. So ultimately his best option was go to Philly, and that's where he went. So let's take a look at his 2019 season from an offensive standpoint, right? So Bryce Harper finished with a .260 batting average, 35 home runs, 114 RBIs, which is a career high for him. The 35 home runs was the second most he's had in his career. 99 walks, 11 intentional walks, 178 strikeouts, which was a career high. 15 stolen bases. He got caught stealing 3 times. 372 on base percentage, 510 slugging percentage, 882 on base OPS, on base plus slugging. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. 1 triple, 36 doubles, which is really nice to see. 149 hits, 98 runs scored, 573 at bats, and he played 157 games. So he played 2 less games than he did in 2018. So this was the second most amount of games he's played in his career. Obviously, last year in 2018 was the most amount of games he's ever played in his career at 159. He had a better year than he did in 2018. 2018, obviously, he had 1 more home run, 14 more RBIs. His batting average is 11 points higher. Not to mention his defense. He had 1 outfield assist in 2018. In 2019, he had 13 outfield assists. And a lot of it had to do with Dave Martinez Nationals manager Dave Martinez putting him in center field where he did not feel comfortable. So now you move him over to right field, and that's why he had 13 outfield assists. I think he just feels comfortable. So that's just who Bryce Harper is. He's so inconsistent sometimes. I mean, look at his 2016 campaign, 2015, 330 batting average, 42 tanks, and 99 RBIs. And the next year comes back in 243 with 24 home runs and 86 RBIs. So it's just he's so up and down. His up and downs are very, very extreme. I've talked about that a lot. But all in all, I was very, very impressed with Bryce Harper this year. Now, was it a fantastic season? No, it was not. But was it a good season? Was it a solid year? Yes, there were a lot of great moments. Homering in his return to D.C. That first home run he hit in the upper deck. Homering off of Steven Strasburg. That walk-off home run against the Cubs. That walk-off grand slam, against the Cubs. That walk-off double against the Dodgers. There are a lot of good moments this year for him. There were. And I mean, it's homering off of Hunter Strickland. That was really cool as well. I'm trying to think. He had a lot of cool moments. He really did come up clutch a lot for us this year. He really did, and he had a grand slam against St. Louis too. So he had a lot of cool moments this year, and that was just a few of them. There's a lot more. So my expectation was I actually had him hitting around 37 home runs going into this year, I think, 37, 38. I did not expect him to drive in 114 runs. He surpassed me with that. I expected him to drive in a little more than 100 runs, like 107. He ended up driving in 114. The walks were where I kind of expected it to be. Unfortunately, he couldn't get that one more walk. He had 90. He was stuck at 99 for like a week. He couldn't get another walk, which kind of annoys me to death because when I see 99, the number 99 just drives me crazy. I don't know why. I'm weird with stuff like that. I have to see it go to 100. I can't stand my mind. Can't stand it when it's 99. So that kind of drove me crazy a little bit that he couldn't get to 100 walks, but that's all right. I mean, he had a very, very solid season, above average season. I mean, any other MLB player that did worse than that, I mean, a lot of players would love to have a season that Bryce Harper did. Disappointments. I'm a little disappointed with the batting average. Obviously, I understand batting average. People think it's a flawed stat, and yes, I understand. Maybe it is, but 260 for a guy getting paid $25 million a year is a little bit. I think he needs to hit for a little bit of a higher average. I would have liked to see him in around 270, 280. That's where I would like to see him be next year. We all know he has it in him. Obviously, just 2 years ago, he hit 319 or something. Yeah, 319 in 2017. I understand he was hurt, had the hyperextended knee injury when he tried to go into first base against San Francisco. But we know he's in him. Obviously, he hit 330 one year. I mean, look at his rookie year, hit 270. In 2013, he hit 274. In 2014, he hit 273. So we know that he could hit around 270, 280. And that's where I expect him to be next year. I expect him to hit over 40 home runs. I expect him driving around the same amount of RBIs. I expect him to have over 100 walks, which I think is very, very possible. If he could have the same season he had defensively next year, if he could have the same season he had with RBIs next year and just improve his power and improve, he's not that far off. He had a good year. He had a very, very good year. He really did. He really, really did. And he took him a while to kind of get used to the ballpark, okay? Obviously, in that first half, he only hit 16 home runs. People were freaking out, saying, "Oh, we expected him." And I was one of them. I'll admit it. I wasn't freaking out, but I was saying to myself, he should be doing better, and he should have been. It just took him a while to adjust to Citizens Bank Park. And in that second half, he went on a home run tear. The home runs in San Francisco, the home runs against Chicago, 3-1 series. He just went on an absolute tear. The month of August was great. He had a great month of August, and that was so cool. He's a second half hitter. We all knew that when he was kind of struggling at the beginning. We were telling ourselves he's a second half hitter. He's a good. He didn't make the All-Star team, which was kind of disappointing, but he's a second half hitter. So let's take a look at his splits this year. So in home games, he had 264. I'm not going to go through every stat. With 20 home runs, 63 RBIs. And on road games, he had 256 with 15 home runs and 51 RBIs. So he's better on home games. And we all know that. Citizens Bank Park is a little sandbox. He should be better on home games. So On day games, which he played 49 of them, 9 home runs, 28 RBIs, a 272 batting average. Night games, 255 batting average, 26 home runs, 86 RBIs. I'm not going to give on the grass on the turf. That doesn't mean anything. March, which was a very short time in March. 3 games. Obviously, he hit 333 with those 2 home runs against Atlanta, 2 RBIs. And then in April, he played 26 games. He hit 4 home runs, 18 RBIs, 232 batting average. So that's what I was talking about. He had a really, really rough start to his season. The first week he was crushing. Obviously, there's 2 home runs against Atlanta. And he hit that monstrous home run at Nationals Park. So, he was actually doing pretty well. The first, couple of days of the first week of the season, he was crushing it. And then he just kind of fell into a slump. May, he hit 255 with 4 home runs, 21 RBIs. And he played 28 games in June. 255, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs. He played 27 games. In July, he only played 22 games. And he hit 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, and a 259 batting average. August, which was his best month, 11 home runs, 25 RBIs, a 277 batting average, and he played 24 games. And in the final month in September, he played 27 games. He hit 6 home runs, 17 RBIs, and he had a 278 batting average. So he got better as the year went on. I think I could say that. And obviously, he hit a little bit. He went from 232, if you exclude March, 232, 255, 255, 259, 277, 278. He did better as the year went on. He's a slow starter. Bryce Harper is one of those guys who could go into he's a tail. When he's hot, he's hot. He could carry a team when he's hot. When he's cold, he's really cold. He's an extreme hitter. Pre-All-Star, he had 253, 16 runs, 62 RBIs, 59 walks, a 370 on base percentage, a 470 slugging percentage, and excuse me, hold on for a second. Just lost. 470 slugging percentage at 839 OPS, and then post All-Star he had 270 with 19 home runs, 52 RBIs. So his RBI total was actually lower in the second half of the year. It didn't matter though because he just had such a better year. After the second half. 40 walks, which was a little bit lower, 270. I'd rather have the more home runs and more power than the walks. Look at a guy like Rhys Hoskins. Look how many walks he had. I think he led the National League in walks. What did he do all year? He was terrible. He didn't do anything. He had 220 with 29 home runs. He had who cares he led the National League in walks? Nothing to me. 370, 76 on base percentage, 564 slugging, and a 941 OPS. So that was how his season went. So against left-handed pitchers, he's a good hitter against left-handed pitchers. 283 batting average. He hit 15 home runs, 44 RBIs. Versus right-handers, he hit 249 with 20 home runs and 70 RBIs. And this goes to show you, Bryce Harper absolutely loves hitting with runners in scoring position. He loves it. And right now, I'm about to prove to you why. We all know how good he was in runners in scoring position this year. I think we all know that. He was fantastic. He really, really was. So he had 15 home runs and 15 RBIs with the bases empty. And he hit 204 with a 333 on base percentage. 386 slugging, 719 OPS. Wow, that is terrible. Runner at first, 305, 10 home runs, 24 RBIs. Runner at second, 341. That is higher than his 2015 batting average. That is 11 points higher than his 2015 batting average, which was 330. That is amazing. That is literally amazing. That is literally amazing. So even though he did have 1 home run, 11 RBIs, he just loves hitting with runners in scoring position. And up here I go. So listen to this. If you want to listen to his runners in scoring position numbers, with first and second he hit 333. And with first and third he only had 9 at bats, but he did hit 700 with 2 home runs and 12 RBIs. Runners at first and second, he hit, as I said, 333 with 4 home runs, 20 RBIs. With runners at 30 at 188 with only 7 RBIs. But with the bases loaded, he hit 333 with 2 home runs and 17 RBIs. He's an RBI machine. He really is. Like, he's an RBI machine. He's actually a really good hitter with 1 out. He hits 309 with 1 out, and he only hits 204 with no out. So it just feels like he does better when the pressure's on. He's one of those guys, and we all know that. I mean, he really is. I'm not going to go through all the other stats like batting fourth and all that kind of stuff, because he really much batted third pretty much all year. I mean, obviously he hit leadoff for a little while, but ahead of the count, he's 228. His average behind in the count is the same average he had at the beginning. It was behind in the count and ahead of the count is 228 with 11 home runs, and then the behind in the count is 7 home runs with 29 RBIs, and the other one was 34 RBIs. So that is your 2019 season for Mr. Bryce Harper. He had a great year. He really did. He had a great year. It wasn't fantastic, but the 13 outfield assists, the 114 RBIs, the 260 batting average, I think it was above average. It was way above average. I mean, it really was. He had a really, really good year. Now, is that worth $25 million a year? No, it wasn't. I would say that's probably worth about maybe 15 to 20 million. I mean, that's at least. I'd say it's at least maybe like 18 million, at least. Maybe you could make an argument, maybe like 21, 22, but it was not worth 25. It was just short. Now, if he would have hit 40 home runs or 40 plus with 270 plus with over 100 walks, then yeah, absolutely yes, because look at his defense. Look how much it improved. So my answer would be a strong yes. Of course. Of course that's worth $25 million, but I cannot tell you that the 260 is worth $25 million with the 35 and the 114 is really impressive, the RBIs. But I need to see him next year, a little improvements. We'll make a video in like February talking about what I want to see out of Bryce Harper in 2020. We'll make a video talking about all that. But I really want to see him just have a better – I just want to see him hit for a higher average. That's what I want to see. And I think we'll be able to see that. I do. I think we'll be able to see him hit for a little bit higher average, but I think he can get back to around 270, 280. I think that's very, very reasonable. I think he can get over 40 home runs and have a better year. I'd like to see his defense, stay around the same level he had this year. He had a lot of nice sliding catches. Everyone wants to talk about the arm. He made a lot of good sliding catches too. He was the Gold Glove finalist. Obviously, he didn't win. JT Muto won the Gold Glove. Congratulations to JT. But he didn't win. But I tell you what, he had a good year defensively. He really, really did. So, Bryce Harper, you had a good year, my man. Enjoy the offseason. Work hard. Enjoy your time with Kayla and crew and your dog, Wrigley. So I hope you enjoy your offseason and have fun talking with Ron and Sherry and your brother and your mom and dad. So, So that's pretty much it. So congrats to Bryce. So have a good year. Have a good offseason, Bryce. You had a good year. So I'm very, very impressed with Bryce, and hopefully he could have even a better year next year. And happy birthday to his wife again. Just want to say that again. So taking a look around baseball, Steven Strasburg has opted out of his contract the final 4 years and $100 million of his contract. He's decided to opt out. It might be renegotiating a contract. He's 31 years old. He's a Scott Boras client. He might be staying in D.C. or he might be going out to San Diego, or he could come here. So we might be in talks with Scott Boras. I have no idea, but I don't really expect anything to happen with this. I don't think we're going to get him. As much as I want it to happen, I don't think so. So I'm going to give that a no. Anthony Rendon is on the market now. I believe free agency officially starts tomorrow. So I'm off of school this week, a whole entire week. I'm off. So, as I said, if you did not hear that, this channel, unless there's a free agent signing going on or a trade, which usually does not happen in the month of November, I'm probably going to be making a video probably once a week or once every other week. There's not really much else to talk about, guys. There's not. It's just not this time of year. In November, obviously in December, we'll talk about the winter meetings, but yeah, I want to put a cover on my jersey and just, and when I want to use it, I will. Obviously, in the regular season, I don't put a cover on it because, I usually put a cover on it because I don't want it to get dirty. But I'm probably going to be using it like once a week, once every other week. So it's going to be sitting in my closet for over a week, so I don't want it to get dirty or anything like that because I want it to look nice. So, I already got my cover out there, I think, back there. So, I don't know if you can see it from here, but it's all ready. It's all ready. It's just a black trash bag. Yeah, so I think it's right back there. But I was impressed with the season that Bryce had. So that's just how I feel about his season. But getting back to my schedule thing, that's what you're going to expect out of this. So Jason Vargas and Hughes obviously are going to probably have their options declined and will become free agents later today. At least that's what I think. That's just my opinion. I don't know if that's that's obviously not proven, but that's what I think. So I just think that's what's going to end up happening. So Jared Hughes and Jason Vargas are going to have their it's actually going to be tomorrow, actually, or today. Well, that announcement was made yesterday, so it's going to be today. So they're going to have their announcements made. Keep an update on it. Watch out for me on Instagram because I will update you guys. You guys follow the Instagram, so go check it out. Link in the description below. Thank you guys. That's pretty much it. I'm in the Ocean City right now, so if you guys like the studio, I love the studio. I love recording in here. I love the way my voice sounds in here. It's just like that nice little tone to it. So I really, really like this room for recording. I really, really enjoy it, and I think it's nice to have a different scenery. Every once in a while, change things up. So thank you all so much for watching this video. The content's not going away. Okay, I don't want you to worry about that. It's not going away, but it's just going to be going down. I think you guys can understand why. I mean, really. I think you guys can understand. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Please smash a like in this video. Please tell your friends about these videos. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please check out social media link in the description below. Please hot stove Instagram. Please hot stove Twitter. Bryce Harper fan page, Harper Fanatics. Eagles Hot Stove Vidcast. Go check that out as well. So check out the video, subscribe, like the videos, do everything. I really appreciate it. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I am Luke, and I will talk to you all later. I'm not going away. I'm just there's not really much else to talk about here, guys. November's a very, very slow month. I talked about that last month on my final series, my final Philly season recap. So Bryce had a good year, and I think I did too, covering the Phillies. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you all later. Have a good day, guys.